Welcome to the Bachelor of Arts third year program in psychology. As part of semester 5, we have health psychology, whose course code is PSD 102. The title of today's unit is Health Compromising Behaviors. Under this, we will be studying module name Smoking Interventions and Preventions. My name is Ms. Faye Pinto, Assistant Professor from Carmen College of Arts, Science and Commerce for Women. Under today's outline, you will learn synergistic effects of smoking. You'll also learn why do people smoke, interventions to reduce smoking, and smoking prevention. By the end of this module, you will learn the synergistic effects of smoking. You will also understand why people smoke. You will also be able to identify different interventions to reduce smoking and its prevention. So let's begin. Smoking is one of the greatest causes of preventable death. It increases the risk of other conditions such as cardiovascular diseases. Smokers tend to be less health conscious and are likely to engage in other unhealthy behaviors such as smoking and drinking. It is also considered an entry-level drug for subsequent substance use and abuse. Secondhand smoke, which is a smoke that is exhaled from an active smoker, poses an additional threat to non-smokers or otherwise called passive smokers. Let's look at the synergistic effects of smoking. Synergistic effects are basically effects that enhance the detrimental effects of other risk factors. For example, smoking and cholesterol interact to produce high rates of morbidity and mortality due to heart disease as it increases the levels of low density lipoprotein. When stressed, there exist gender differences. For men, nicotine can increase heart rate reactivity to stress. For women, smoking can reduce heart rate but increases blood pressure in response to stress. This is more common among individuals from a lower socio-economic status because they are the disadvantaged group. When it comes to weight, thin smokers face an increased risk of mortality. Further, those who engage in less physical activity and smoke can contribute to ill health. Some of the disorders that result from smoking are depression, anxiety, and panic attack, just to name a few. Now, why do people smoke? Nearly 3 decades of research on smoking have revealed how difficult smoking is to modify. There appears to be a genetic influence on smoking. Genes that regulate dopamine functioning are likely candidate for these heritable influences. Cigarette smokers are generally less health conscious, less educated, and less intelligent than non smokers. Smoking and drinking often go together, and drinking seems to cue smoking, making a person more prone to accident. They may also take more sick leaves and use more health benefits, thereby representing substantial cost to the economy. Smoking is an entry level drug in childhood and adolescence for subsequent substance use. Trying cigarettes makes one significantly more likely to use other drugs in the future. Now, what are some of the factors associated with smoking in adolescence? At least 46% of high school students have tried cigarette smoking. But smoking does not start all at once. There is a period of initial experimentation during which the adolescent tries out cigarette as they experience peer pressure to smoke and develop attitudes about what a smoker is like. Following experimentation, only some adolescents go on to become heavy smokers. Starting to smoke results from a social contagion process through contact with others who smoke. More than 70% of all cigarettes smoked by adolescents are smoked in the presence of a peer. Once they begin smoking, adolescents are more likely to prefer the companies of peers who smoke. Therefore, schools that look the other way or that have poor levels of discipline may inadvertently contribute to regular cigarette use. As the prevalence of smoking goes up at a particular school, so does the likelihood that additional students will start smoking. In continuation, smoking runs in families. Adolescents are more likely to start smoking if their parents smoke, and if their parents smoked early and often. If their parents stopped smoking before the child turns approximately 8, smoking cessation actually reduces the risk of smoking, presumably because of the family's anti smoking attitudes. Adolescents are more likely to start smoking if they are from a lower social class, if they feel social pressure to smoke, and if there has been a major stress in the family, such as parental separation or job. These effects are partly due to the increase in stress and depression that may result. Even watching people smoke in movies or on television contributes to high rate of adolescent smoking. Once adolescents begin to smoke, the risk they perceive from smoking decline, as so smoking itself reduces perceptions of risk. Social influences also affect adult smoking and either sustain people smoking or encourages them to quit. Smoking clusters in social networks, almost as an infectious disease might. Although smoking has declined overall, clusters of smokers who know each other increase the likelihood that a friend or a relative will continue to smoke. The good news is that these geographic clusters also appear to spread quitting. The likelihood that someone will stop smoking increases by two-thirds if their spouse has stopped smoking, by 25% if a sibling has quit, and by 36% if a friend has quit. Even smoking cessation by a co-worker decreases the likelihood that one will continue to smoke by 34%. Smoking, like so many other risky behaviors, spreads through social ties. Another factor includes self identity. Those whose ideal self image is close to that of a typical smoker are more likely to smoke. Factors such as low self esteem, dependency, feelings of powerlessness, and social isolation all increase the tendency to imitate others' behaviors, and smoking is no exception. Feelings of being hassled, angry, or even sad increase the likelihood of someone to smoke. Feelings of self efficacy and good self control skills helps adolescents resist temptations to smoke. Self identity is also important for stopping smoking. Identifying oneself as a smoker impedes the ability to quit smoking, whereby identifying oneself as a quitter can promote it. So, what's the role of nicotine addiction and smoking? Smoking is an addiction reported to be harder to stop than heroin addiction or alcoholism. Only so called chippers are able to smoke casually without showing signs of addiction. People smoke to maintain blood levels of nicotine and to prevent withdrawal symptoms. Nicotine basically alters levels of your neuroregulators, including acetylcholine, norepinephrine, dopamine, endogenous opioids, and vasopressin. Now, more importantly, let's look at some of the interventions to reduce smoking. The first being changing one's attitude towards smoking. The mass media has been effective in producing the educational base for anti smoking attitudes. Most people now view smoking as an addiction with negative social consequences. Anti smoking media messages have also been effective in discouraging adults and adolescents from beginning to smoke. However, education provides only a base and by itself may nudge people closer to the desire to quit, but not to quitting itself. The therapeutic approach to the smoking problem. Accordingly, health psychologists have moved to a therapeutic approach to the smoking problem, typically involving principles of CBT. The nicotine replacement therapy. Many therapies begin with some form of nicotine replacement, such as nicotine patches, which releases nicotine in steady doses into the bloodstream. Nicotine replacement therapy significantly increases initial smoking cessation. It uses the stages of change model as a basis for intervening. Many smoking intervention programs have used the stages of change as a basis of intervening. Intervention to move people from the pre contemplation to the contemplation stage centers on changing attitudes, emphasizing the adverse health consequences of smoking and the negative social attitudes that most people hold about smoking. Motivating a person's readiness to quit may in turn increase a sense of self efficacy that one will be able to do so, contributing further to their readiness to quit. Social support and stress management, as is true for other health habit interventions, would be that ex smokers are more likely to be successful over the short term if they have a supportive partner and non smoking supportive friends. The presence of smokers in one's social network is a hindrance to maintenance and a significant predictor of relapse. Stress management training is helpful for successful quitting. Because smoking is relaxing for many people, teaching smokers how to relax in situations in which they might be tempted to smoke provides an alternative method for smoking for coping with stress or anxiety. Lifestyle rebalancing through changes in diet and exercise also help people cut down on smoking or maintaining abstinence after quitting. Image is also important in helping people stop, specifically people who have a strong sense of themselves as non smokers do better in treatment than those who have a strong sense of themselves as smokers. Therefore, intervention with young women who smoke must take into account appearance related issues, as young women often fear that if they stop smoking, they will put on weight. In designing intervention with adolescents, earlier we had noted how important the image of the cool, sophisticated smoker is in getting teenagers to start smoking. Several interventions to induce adolescents to stop smoking have made use of a self determination theory. Because adolescents often begin to shore up their self image with a sense of autonomy and control, self determination theory targets those same cognitions, namely autonomy and self control, but from the opposite vantage point. That is, they target the behavior of stopping smoking instead. Relapse prevention techniques are typically incorporated into smoking cessation programs. Relapse prevention is important because the ability to remain abstinent shows a steady month by month decline, such that within 2 years after smoking cessation, even the best programs do not exceed a 50% abstinence rate. Relapse prevention techniques begin by preparing people for withdrawal, including cardiovascular changes, which are seen to be more effective than other intervention programs. However, when workplace environments are entirely smoke free, employees smoke much less. Other interventions to reduce smoking include nicotine patches as well as more intensive self help care programs. Cable television programs, which are seen to be inexpensive. Quit lines, where telephone calls can be made when a need to relapse arises. Internet interventions can also be used, which are seen to be much effective as one gets instant feedback. Public health approaches through advertisements. Banning cigarettes entirely is known to be the best approach. Other prevention programs include an aim to catch potential smokers early and attack the underlying motivations that leads people to smoke, usually using school systems which are inexpensive and require no training. The central component of such social influence interventions are carefully constructed to appeal to adolescents, creating a positive image of the non-smoker and the peer group. Here are some steps to help you prepare for your quit day for smokers. Pick the date and mark it on your calendar. Tell friends and family about your quit day. Stock up on oral substitutes such as sugarless gum, carrot sticks, and or hard candy. Decide on a plan. Will you use nicotine replacement? Will you attend a class? If so, sign up now. Set up a support system. This could be a group class, Nicotine Anonymous, or a friend who has successfully quit and is willing to help you. On the day that you decide to quit, follow these suggestions. Do not smoke. Get rid of all cigarettes, lighters, ashtrays, or any other items related to smoking. Keep active, try walking, exercising, and doing other activities or hobbies. Drink lots of water and juices. Begin using nicotine replacement if that is your choice. Attend a stop smoking class or follow a self help plan. Avoid situations where the urge to smoke is strong. Reduce or avoid alcohol. And the best one, use the 4 A's. Avoid, alter, alternative activities to deal with such tough situations. These are your references. Thank you.